Name's so nice, they named him twice.
I'd just like your opinion, man.
Well, I'm hungry like a wolf, so I'm glad that he's brought recess.
That is just a reflex.
Non-toxic.
Hey, I am really excited about this meeting, but I'm a little nervous. Would you say a prayer for me?
You're my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Say a prayer.
That's one of my favorites.
I like the color.
The White Sox won yesterday. They scored almost 20 runs yesterday. They have no sense.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're just absolutely terrible.
So you got your license.
And I saw a really terrible article, and it's about your buddies. That's why I thought I'd share it with you.
Yeah.
You know, why won't the White Sox fire him? And the answer was, why would you pay someone to come in and manage what's here?
Yeah, who's going to take the job?
Why would you pay anyone to manage
Even
this
the first
trash?
base coach doesn't want to go be seen out there on the field.
Hello, Melanie. How are you
Hello,
doing?
MM.
Hello. Good to see
Did
you.
you get your check, everything taken care of?
I didn't get my check.
Oh, you dropped it off.
I got it back.
Chairs. You probably don't need every one, but
Okay. I didn't get it back. But I will. I don't care.
every other
Yeah.
one or something like that.
Did it drop? Did it just drop into your account?
No, I don't have auto.
You don't. Okay.
Nah. Just gonna have him come in check. Then I can go to the casino.
All right, go on. There you go.
No, I'm kidding.
Nothing
I
wrong with
wouldn't
going
do
See
that.
the cash machine.
I'm a very responsible girl.
Me too.
It's so, yeah.
Hungry for Teresa's. Hungry for Teresa's. Willie.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. How you guys doing today? Good.
A little up, little down, a little bit side. This is side, so. Don't say center. It's really funny, but one of the things that Gary Keller talks a lot about is work-life balance.
Yep.
And he explains that there's no such thing as delusion. You're tricking yourself if you think that it's possible to be in balance. What he talks about is counterbalance.
Okay.
In that, there's always going to be times that you're going to put your family first and do a bunch of stuff. You've just got to go back and counterbalance your business. And then you're going to be focused on your business, you're going to have to go back and counterbalance your family. You're never going to be riding this little line right in the middle thinking that that works. And of course, if you're in any sort of relationship with any sort of person and over a significant amount of time, you of course realize that that's never going to be a 50-50 thing either. That's 100-100, right? I mean, when I'm here, I'm all in. I am all in on this. And my all in looks significantly different than your all in. Because, you know, we're never going to be, we don't have the same scoreboard. I could care less if you take out the trash.
What about Purdue's scoreboard?
Nah. Hey, I'm going to say this, and I will comment on it before the meeting gets going, but Purdue has 11 of 14 roster members from the state of Indiana. Connecticut has 3 members from the state of Connecticut, and most of them play for other college teams before coming to Connecticut. That's the NCAA versus the NIL, and it's a different. As long as Purdue is consistent about wanting to play
People from their state.
old-fashioned and value the education that they give the people over winning championships, I'll take number 2 any day.
Also,
That's
he was
amazing.
insane this tournament. His performance, even. I think the game versus Tennessee, he sat 30 seconds. Played every other minute.
Yeah.
And he's one of the people that can't qualify for NIL deals. He's Canadian. So all the shops, like the revenue they make off of the Purdue hoodies is what he gets.
And, you know, he's one of the, he's highly principled, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have left, because no coach wanted him.
No.
And that made him really mad.
And then played in the biggest tournament of the year and proceeded to.
Rec shop for he's the big part of it. He just, you know, in the end, he's got.
Hi, I'm Jess.
Also,
Nice to meet you. No. Well, Ryan's a good friend of mine. He's rocking to Olympia.
yeah.
Oh, I just like Ryan because I'm here.
I like Purdue and
And do you want to sit by her?
No, I'm
when he popped up that like girls in Quebec and Evie had like more points than everybody else on the board.
And I was like so nervous. And I was like,
Fun game. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Afterwards, Danielle. Hey, Fireman Bill, you excited to be here? What's going on? I wouldn't know that. You look the same as always. Well, I mean, you're all dressed up, but I mean, like, I can't see it in your eyes. I can't hear it in your voice. I can't feel it in your presence. How are you, my good friend? I was just visiting my mom on Monday.
You might be young enough to have allergies. Older guys don't have allergies. I suppose they but the younger you are, the more likely you are.
I can come go with you. Snowball.
They taught us infidelity.
like, do you really know that?
Right up again. Grab someone new. Snowball, do it again.
It is a mystery to all of us, Jay.
Oh, I've been up there. I was passing out my flyers. But good that you found that out. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff, but I only brought this up.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, April. Boy, we are moving fast, we're marching right into April. Hey, I want to bring up something that I hope all of you will give me a minute and really pay attention to what I'm about to say. All of you would really pay attention to what I'm about to say. All of you would really pay attention to what I'm about to say. Throughout this room, there are microphones. And you may not be aware how good those microphones are, but as the person who gets to go through every recording of every team meeting we have, you might be surprised at the stuff I know about. Here's the other challenge I have for you. Not only might you be surprised about what I know about you, but everyone on Zoom gets to hear it too. So, I would encourage you, based on some of the things I've heard, to keep the conversation to a minimum. Because one, you don't know who's listening. And number two, if you are watching it on Zoom, the conversations are very distracting. Because they're hearing your conversation just as well as they're hearing everything else. So I appreciate your awareness of that. And we'll go forward from there. My good friend Jamie's going to lead us off and tell us all about what's going on here on April 10th.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. Some of us are closer to them than others. Hey, welcome to game day. This is our big day of the week. As you know, as a group, as a leadership team, that we get to take all these meetings and all the things we put together and pour them into you all in one day, and we love it. We hope it's amazing value today. We are going to go through our traditional team meeting, and then we're going to jump right into, I can't call it Stump the Chump because that's disrespectful, but Stump Jason Huerkamp on seller objections. It'll be amazing to hear from such a great leader as him and all he's been through with listings. So let's move forward. One of the things we like to highlight something at the beginning of every meeting that's special about us or special about KWRI. We are here to help you build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And we, as a leadership team, focus on build and worth, otherwise known as value. And we are open to as much value opportunity that comes to mind from you as well. We have play of the week, Lisa Brainer. Let's give it to her. Lisa, well, first of all, she just got back from visit with Queensryche, right? Where are you at? You got to meet all of Queensryche, which is interesting. She's so quiet. So silent lucidity is like perfect for those Queensryche thing. But anyway, Lisa had 6 pieces of business in one day. Woo. Think about that. Just throwing a couple sidebars. Why do we do this real quick? Why do we do this? We do this because you need to know the high quality of the teammates you have in this office. And your sphere needs to know when you're doing things that kick butt too. Lisa also helps on our ALC, great member on ALC, and she's a tough mudder. So thank you, Lisa. Open to nominations, especially those who don't make it to the office as much. If you hear something that they're doing personally, philanthropically, anything like that, please let me know because we want to honor them and honor them in front of their sphere. Speaking of honoring, congrats to Sue and Eli for capping. And Don Peterson and Kim Lindgren, way to go. And just to embarrass her, Dawn's right back there. Look at her, she doesn't like that. Welcome, everybody. And she was here last week for the team meeting. She's here this week for the team meeting. So this week we get to honor her. Welcome, Lisa Price. All right. We love having you here. She asks lots of great questions and is eager to grow. We love that. Now, before we get into this, we all know how busy Melissa's been, but she still had enough time to buy me these great Kool-Aid socks.
Hey,
So, welcome, the broker with the host.
I thought you meant the Dollar Tree, if you want to run out and get your own.
Yeah.
April is Fair Housing Month. Hopefully you've seen the post on social media and you've been paying attention to our state and national association who's been promoting it. I see it as really a wonderful opportunity for you to show your sphere, what your commitment is to the industry. I mean, we are looking for more buyers, and if home ownership is for all, use this as a freebie and a chance to get yourself out there on social media. And not all month, but especially tomorrow. I would love for there to be just an abundance of social media posts tomorrow because President Johnson signed the Fair Housing Act into law on April 11, all the way back in 1968. The act states that it's the policy of the United States to provide within constitutional limitations for fair housing throughout the United States. And it prohibited discrimination based on the protected classes, as we've talked about in the past, starting in 1974. So if you go to the next slide, that's just a little history on it. But these are some options for you to go out and get resources that you can utilize and that you can promote. So Keller Williams has a class. It's called Equity Homeownership for All. You can find it on Connect. Also, the National Association of Realtors has some really great graphics. They're visual, they have motion, there's videos. They also have some inspirational language. Inspirational meaning it's a launching point or a starting point for you to craft your own language, so you can just easily cut and paste if you'd like. There's also something called a Fair Housing Declaration, and you can click on that. You can personalize that PDF if you want to use it. And if you really want to go for it, there is a simulation called Fair Housing, which is kind of a little online game that allows you to put yourself in the shoes of a fake city where you can learn about fair housing and some of the decisions you make, how it impacts those in your community. The Minnesota Association of Realtors has a really good blog post, some timeline and history. And then the St. Paul Area Association of Realtors also has some resources. They have this super cute coloring contest, and there is a chance for your clients to win money. I mean, what kid doesn't love a coloring contest, right? We're all probably at the age that we actually tore it out of the newspaper and brought it into the grocery store when we were kids, right? Like, let's do a coloring contest. It would be so fun. They also have a really neat documentary called Battling Prejudice. So you guys are exceptional agents. We want you to show that on your social media. And thank you for embracing with me Fair Housing Month.
Thank you, Melissa. Hey, with all the noise, we all know there's a lot of noise out there. What is a way you can continue to stay above the noise? Is you can post stuff like this and say, hey, submit this. Have your kids color it, submit it to me, I'll submit it. There's a lot of things you could be posting that says, I'm a professional, I'm doing things right, I'm doing it right now, beyond all the stuff that they're here. So thank you, Melissa. As you all know, we have ALC. By the way, this is not Charlie's Angels. This is not Charlie's Angels. So our ALC does a lot of things. They had a wonderful, robust meeting this morning. Grateful, very grateful. They also serve on communities. So let's welcome two of the three. Megan is on a walkthrough. Sarah and Lisa.
Hello.
Hello.
We and Megan are the luxury community. And the luxury community really is just about kind of learning how to increase your price point, how to get yourself in front of more luxury properties if that's something that you're interested, both with buyers and sellers. We've had a couple of tours where we did a couple of mine in Burnsville. We'll have an opportunity to see those again. They go active in a few weeks. And then my team went on a broker open at one of Melissa's tours, again, another luxury property on Prior Lake. So we want to continue to do some broker opens. If you in here, anybody has a luxury property coming on the market, definitely let us know and we can work out with you helping promote that. But then we also want to have meetings. I guess you could maybe even say classes where we discuss some strategies on how do you increase your price point and how do you represent a luxury buyer or a luxury seller that might look different than your typical buyer and seller.
And I think the more that you can get involved as an agent and learn the different resources that you have, you'll find that these meetings that we do in these communities really help you offer more resources to your clients. You can even just be at happy hour. Oh, I think happy hour.
Because that's your favorite time of day, Lisa.
You can be at happy hour or the clock when the band starts.
Yeah.
So conversation's gonna come up, and so the more conversations that you're having and just what you learn around you really helps you speak more clearly on that, and you're gonna learn, and what you think about, you bring about. So if you start getting involved in different luxury properties, you're gonna find that that's what's happening. I'll give you an example. I've been meeting some investors, and all of a sudden, I have all these investment property opportunities coming, and so that's just how it works. So just get involved, learn. I've done 1 or 2 luxury properties myself. It's been a couple of years, and I'll tell you what, it's really great when you can even be at a $300,000 house listing and have the experience of what it's like for luxury and have both of that. It just makes you more a well-rounded realtor, and I just think it'll just give you more ability to serve your clients. So yeah, come join us.
And what if you are, part of your value prop is that you're giving that luxury experience to all of your clients? That's how we focus on things. So no matter what price point you're currently at, you can learn something.
And I promise it'll be fun.
Yeah.
You're probably yeah.
Thank you, angels. Remember, as business people, what we can control is units. We can never always control, we can't necessarily control the price points, what the market is doing volume-wise. However, you can increase your opportunities that way. All right, let's jump in. There's stuff. All right, as you know, we're gonna cut this meeting a little early so we can have some wonderful Teresa's for lunch. I've said it 100 times, I can't wait. Thanks to Stone Arch for that. And Value Squared, it's an amazing opportunity to hear. I mean, Erie's going live, sits with you. My analogy is, it's like Dad sitting there, hey, we've been through this before, we're gonna get through it again, so. Also, Shelby Ryder is here tomorrow, the next day. You know what I wanna say real quick, I think I dropped the ball a little bit on how we present this. She calls it a leverage series. There are 2 things that you need, as you know, leverage is one of the L's on the triangle. One thing that you really need also is to be a leader. Gary also says that you need a master's in person development, and whether you're hiring now or not, this is a missed opportunity. I should have presented it as such. I apologize. We need more people. Come here tomorrow. Also, we have the listings month. As you know, we got Jason today. Stacy solves all things listings, and Colin doing a live listing presentation. Come for that and needle them as much as you can. And then we have wealth building with Kim Peterson doing the Burr method coming right up. And let's welcome Lisa from Stone Arch.
I'm not Lisa, but this is Lisa. I want to go back to the coloring contest. I walked past Shane's office yesterday and he was coloring that at his desk. I mean, it's kind of weird, Shane. No, we're not surprised. And you know what? Your hair's on point today, so good job. Wanted to give a warm welcome to Lisa. We've been working really, I'm going to work to get out of the light. We'll still work with the people on Zoom. It's just really bright. Yes, Jason. Thank you. We've been working super hard for a strong option for an in-house title partnership for all of you. Our goal along the way when we were interviewing and strategizing and interviewing was to make sure that we found a convenient, trustworthy, high-level service option for you. And then just a couple other points. Given the increase in wire fraud over the last couple of years, we also wanted to make it a priority to find a safe option for all of you and, of course, your clients. So Stone Arch Title, we're on the first floor, Suite 105. We're backed by Knightberry Title, which is, to our knowledge, the oldest title company in the country, launched in 1836, right?
They're amazing.
And they're the 10th largest title company in the country. And I see John Rowan shaking his head back there. Thank you, sir. So watch for a new affiliated business disclosure coming soon, uploaded into your templates. But without further ado, this is my new friend, Lisa McKenzie, and she's amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
Like Olivia said, we're open for business. We officially open Monday. I just want to talk a little bit about what sets us apart and what my vision is for our title company. So, you know, you can find anybody to push paper across the table and talk docs to your clients, but my vision is to have more of an experience for your clients. The way that I'm going to do this is through communication. through confirmation calls to every client before they come in, by celebrating their closings when a celebration is warranted, because sometimes, of course, they're not with closings. And then by just building that trust and building those relationships with not only you guys, but your clients. I think that the difference that sets me apart as a closer is that I want to be an extension of your team. I want to be a resource for you, accessible anytime that you need me. I know that you guys work on the weekends and in the evenings, so I want to be there for you at those times. I've got a perfect example. On Sunday, I had an agent call me. He was sitting in an open house, excuse me, and he had a client there who was interested in the house he was sitting in, but he called me and he said, you know, Lisa, this person wants me to list her house, but she has a problem. She recently was divorced, and when she tried to get her husband off of title, she wasn't able to because her name was spelled wrong. And I said, all right, on Monday we can pull the deed, we'll take a look at it and see what's going on. She said, actually, she has a deed with her. So I had the agent send it over, and I looked at it, and on the back it was Torrance. And I said, that's easy, we can just get a directive. I'll contact Stacy Lofgren at the title or examiner of title's office, and we'll get a directive for it. And he was able to retain that client because he was able to get hold of me on Sunday. So those are the things that I want to be able to do for you guys. So I know I only have 3 to 5 minutes to talk. But stop down and see me anytime. We can talk more. I'd love to get to know all of you and get to know what your needs are and tell you more about myself if you'd like to come down.
You've been in title for over 7 years, right?
Yep, 7 years.
Yep, and have already worked with quite a few of you when she was at another title company. So, you like espresso martini, so that is really good for some of us. Stacy, Sarah, like we'll have to all share one together. But we're super proud to be in business with you. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay.
And as you can tell, Lisa fits right into our culture, doing good deeds. Thank you. All right, let's welcome the man. Is he here? Jason Huerkamp, come right up. So we thought we'd start out with just a little get to know him quick here. And as you know too, Jason is a very successful realtor. He are you a high D, isn't you? Probably, yeah. So, we just hope, like you're at the kids' table.
Sorry, I act like a kid most of the time.
So real quick, before we get started, Jason, so you got into real estate and all of a sudden you had a team that did 400 deals, right? Just fell in your lap.
Yeah, just, it was all like that. Yeah.
Walk us through your weekend real quick.
Well, I guess we were at Coldwell Banker until 2014. You know, it was Brooke and I, Ryan was on our team at then, and then we had an admin. We were doing
75.
Yeah, somewhere in there, 70, 75 deals a year. And Brooke was the admin, and mostly I was doing the deals, and a little bit of Ryan at the end there. You know, and then from there, they kind of patted me on the butt, so to speak, and said, hey, good job, go do more. And I'm like, well, this doesn't seem like a lot of fun. So we slowly but surely grew it from there. Blood, sweat, and tears, all of which has happened. And it's not me by any means. It's all the people on HHG in this room and all the support that we get from the staff at Keller Williams Preferred Realty. So, you know, 2007 I was bankrupt. So I'm not a guy that just got to 400 deals. I mean, we didn't do that last year. We're 300, but I'm not a guy that just got to that. You know, we had so little money at one point. Brooke had a couple cavities filled, and she didn't get any Novocaine. So that shows you what you can do in whatever it is, 14 years, 15 years, 16 years. So yeah, I'm very accessible. People might not think that because I used to think people in my position were not accessible, you know, and I think that's just you probably telling yourself a story that's not true about me, and I mean that with all due respect. You know, if you ever have a question, let me know. I'm happy to answer it. There's many people that are not on the team in this room that will run something by me, and I'm always happy to do what I think. So I'm pretty humble about this. I feel very fortunate, blessed to live the life that I do, but it doesn't go without a lot of hard work. due diligence and great staff and team members that we have that I'm very fortunate and blessed to have, so.
Thank you for, being open to share that. And I know if we don't switch chairs, Olivia's gonna go nuts, because that's creepy.
That screeching chair is driving me nuts. At least she knows me. Yeah, seriously.
So, all right, well, one last thing before we get started, okay? What was? I don't want to get off the ground. All right, so you reached an incredible height in this, and you're really adhering Gary's, MREA to a T.
Mm-hmm.
What continues to drive you for the success that you're achieving?
I think a lot of it is just helping people genuinely. You know, I'm not a guy that lives in a super expensive house. I like to invest in people. I mean, I don't know, my house might be worth $500,000, something like that. So I like to invest in people more than in myself. And if you like to invest in yourself as far as monetary things, that's cool. But most of my investment and stuff is in people. And then, you know, we own a lot of real estate. I enjoy, you know, starting companies, building companies. I enjoy seeing people help me build those companies. That's a lot of fun. But again, none of that I did in 2007. I was bankrupt, you know. I mean, so just look at that. And time moves, right? Time moves fast. So, you know, you look at that, whatever, you know, that 15, 16 years, whatever the heck it is, you can do a lot. And I think people just, you know, they totally underestimate they overestimate what they can do in a year, they underestimate what they can do in 5, right? I mean, it's simple things like, even this morning, it was stupid, but I showed I sent the team a text of like my workout this morning, and I burned, I don't know, 1,200 calories this morning on my workout. It's like 90 minutes, right? And I said, you know, I work out like this so I can get a good night's sleep, so I can hopefully help you guys achieve better goals. At least that's what I tell myself. And then somebody commented or something, or star, you know, at least trying to make me feel good about myself, which I appreciate. And I took it in front of my bed, and I'm like, by the way, I make my bed every day. And if you haven't, there was an admiral in the U.S. Navy that gave a speech, and it must have been the Navy, whatever, their graduating class, right? It was called Make It Bed. So if you get a chance, it's like 15 or 20 minutes long, but if you get a chance to do that, and look at that. It's the little things, I guess, is what I'm getting at. You know, it's, you know, how do you eat an elephant? Well, it's one bite at a time. So whether you want to be me or not, that's up to you. I don't want you to be me. I want you to be you. And whether that's doing 10 deals a year, 20 deals a year, whether that's having a team that does 2,000 deals a year, I mean, have at it. You know, that's kind of how I look at things. So
awesome. Well, folks here know that you're also here to do seller objections. And does anyone have a seller objection that they would like to ask Jason of first? Who's got the guts to start?
Oh, I would love to.
Oh, Chad.
Chad, go for it. Nope,
Chad,
you're up.
first.
Gentlemen first. Oh, what about Chad?
We'll go Shane.
Oh, Shane? Shane doesn't have one. Go ahead, Chad.
Here, Chad.
Come on, let's be honest. Why in the world would I pay a buyer's commission? I cannot understand this. I know there's good buyers out there, and I know that's on them to pay their agent. That is not my problem. I am just not, I'm not gonna do it.
no, I can appreciate that, Chad, and I understand how you feel, and others have felt that way before. And this is, quite frankly, what we've found is, I have a question for you, I guess, just, you know, are you looking to net the most amount of money or pay the least amount of commission? Because they don't go hand in hand. So what are you looking to do?
Well, I was gonna say both. I mean, net most money, of course,
Okay.
and,
So if I can show you the way that we're gonna be able to net the most amount of money, would you at least entertain the thought of paying a buyer's commission if I can show you how that benefits you more than hurts you?
yeah, you're gonna have a tough sell to show me that you can do that.
Well, that's okay, I like tough sells. So let me do this. Let me break out our net sheet here. But ultimately, are you familiar with supply and demand and how that works?
101 version, you bet.
Okay, 101's fine. We can keep it rudimentary here. So ultimately, if you put a home on the market, do you want the most amount of buyers that you can possibly get into that property, or are you looking to have the fewest amount of buyers in that property?
You want as many eyes on as possible.
You want as many eyes as possible, and quite frankly, that's what the vast majority of the clients want that we work with and that we choose to work with. Because ultimately, you're going to choose to work with me, and I'm going to choose to work with you, and if we don't choose to work together, that's okay too. So what we want is to get the most eyes on the property, and with buyers now having to be full on signed and working with an agent to get into a property. Don't get me wrong, some of those buyers can get in your property, but statistics will show that 67% of buyers only have enough money to come up with their down payment for the property. They do not have money to actually pay for their buyer's agent. So what you have to ask yourself is, are you willing to take 66% of the buyers and put them over here and only work with 33% of the buyers that can actually afford your home? And I would argue that it's not even 33% because we're looking at the buyer populace overall. It's probably actually in your price point, being that you're at 300,000, it's probably only 10% of the buyers can actually pay their buyer's agent's commission. So what you have to look at and say, it's all about the net, right? Right? It's all about the net, it's all about the base. So it's, a couple of you got that. So what you have to look at, Chad, and again, I can appreciate you wanting to net the most amount of money because I think that's a very smart business decision rather than paying lease commission. What you have to look at is what you ultimately want to net. And because commissions are, quite frankly, already built in to pricing in Minnesota, because those commissions are already built in, we already are working with, you know, a platform that has those commissions in there. And what I mean by that is, if there were no commissions in real estate, I'm a firm believer that average sales prices would fall between 5 and 10%, depending on some various factors. So if somebody comes to you with a number that you're looking to net, like how much would you like to net? Your house is 300,000. How much realistically would you like to net on this house, Chad?
I guess if I ran my math, I want to see at least 280.
Okay, you want to see at least about 280, and I can appreciate that you want to see that. So your math, by what you're telling me, is that you're willing to give some sort of a concession to the buyer's agent. As long as we can net you that 280, and I'll show you how we're going to do that right here on this net sheet. As long as we can net you 280, then I think it's all about your net. We don't care about the noise of where that other $21,000 goes at all. We don't care about that noise. Let's do the right thing. Let's net you 280. Let's get 100% of the buyer's eyes on your home instead of only maybe between 10 and 30. Wouldn't you agree that 100% is better than 10 to 30% of the buyer's eyes?
Won't you take care of the buyers that don't have an agent or can't afford one?
You know, if we actually run into yeah, we'll save you some money. If we run into a situation where we can help represent the buyers and we can represent you, you bet we'll reduce the commission, and I'll show you what that looks like here. Absolutely, we'll save you some money because if I can work with myself, I know what all my strengths and weaknesses are, so I'd rather work with myself. You bet. I tell myself I know my strengths and weaknesses, and Brooke would disagree. So let's do the right thing and let's sign the contract and let me get you net you 280.
Let's go.
At lunch, you can hear her differences. Olivia, did you have one?
Oh, that was gonna be mine.
Oh, okay. Who's got one? Who's got one?
Anything goes. If it's a buyer, whatever you guys want to talk about it, I'm good.
I wanna list my house at 500,000, but you came in and said you think it's only worth 300,000. How do you get me to come to reality?
So we do pre-qualification checklist. Well, we say we do. I don't know how many of us, I do, but we try to do them. Usually that'll come out and we'll share that doc with closed Facebook group, so someone, maybe Nikki, can take a note, but we'll share that doc where we have a full list of questions. If somebody is that kind of far in the woods, we probably won't go on that appointment unless we just wanna use it as a training for like if it's a new agent or something, but we would never go on an appointment where somebody was off by that much. Now, what we also do is we give a range, right? We've learned to give a range in price, and I would encourage you all to do that. We give below market, at market, and above market. And usually 98% of the time, the people will fall in that range. And what we typically do is about 5%, give or take, is what our range will be. So if we're at $1 million as the average sales price, or that we think, or the price that it'll sell at, we'll be like $950, and we'll be at $1,050,000. If we're at, 100,000, we might be at 95,000, 100, and 105,000. So we give a range, and the minute we started giving a range, and I always say, the market says your home is worth this. It has nothing to do with me, because I'm not the market. Because then we can always blame something on the market, right? So I always say the market says your home is worth this, and what we'll do is when we go through like the listing presentation, is I'll just flat out say, here's the 3 to 5 comparables that we have. We'll go through the comparables one by one, and I'll say, so this is right down the street. Have you been in this house? Most of the time they haven't, but sometimes they have. If they've been in that house, well, they know that house better than you have because more than likely you haven't been in that house. So, and then I'll say, how do you think this house compares to yours? And they'll say, better, it's worse, and I'll be like, why do you think that? Well, because it's very interactive, right? It's the market. I'm just telling them the market. I'm not, I'm no genius. Shit, I'm dyslexic and ADHD. I mean, I'm not supposed to swear. The word shit comes from store high in transit, from shipping back in the day, but that's where that word comes from.
Well, I'll be a little more realistic. I have a PC agent and they were at like $395 and the people wanted to list it $409. And they were even concerned at saying $395. And the client was, well, we're willing to wait and let it sit on the market.
So, can I tell you why that concerns me a little bit?
Yes.
Would you rather have a donut that's fresh from the bakery, or would you rather have a donut that's 3 days old?
Fresh.
Okay, fresh. And that's what the buyers want. Buyers want fresh homes. The buyers are willing to pay more money for fresh homes. So in order to have your home be fresh and look the best, we have to price it appropriately. Now, it might not be 3 days, but let's do this. I'll even do one better. Let's entertain your 409 for, let's call it 10 days. But my fear for you after 10 days is if we don't reduce the price, what's going to happen is you're gonna become not so fresh. You're that 3-day-old donut right now. Use whatever analogy you want. And if you become not fresh, the buyers are not gonna want to buy you. So let's do this. We'll list at your 409. Let's agree that within 10 days, we're gonna drop the price to $395. We're gonna sign a price reduction form right now at the time that we sign this listing contract, and then we'll get to try it your price, and hopefully we get it. I really hope we get you that money. And if we don't, then we're both on the same page about what we're gonna do moving forward in the future. Sound good?
Sounds great, thank you.
That's what I would do.
Thank you, Monique.
I don't remember.
Just I'm too funny.
That's the objection, I don't remember.
I got distracted.
Oh, that's okay.
It'll come back.
With the donut analogy.
I know now I do want some donuts.
Melissa, buyers don't. Melissa?
Yeah, I can wait though if other people.
Oh, you're good.
I've worked years on this perennial garden, and I really think we should wait to list it until like probably middle of June when they're at their prettiest.
Do you have any photos of this beautiful garden that you've taken in the past?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And you would agree that you're not ready to put your home on the market right now anyway, right?
Pretty close.
Okay. You're close, okay. There's some things that I'm not gonna discount with you. I mean, if the perennial garden, you think it's gonna look the best and that's gonna show your home in the best light, we can definitely wait. My fear for you, however, is right now there's a lack of inventory on the market, and I think, you know, we definitely could get it on with the photos that you have of the garden. That's fantastic, and I'm sure you might even have video, or you know, you get stuff on Insta or YouTube, whatever you got for me. I'm happy to market that too, but my fear for you would be like, if there's a limited supply of inventory right now, why don't we just do the right thing and put it on the market right now? People can see what it looks like in the photos and the videos that you have, and I really don't think it's gonna be detrimental to you. Now, if we had 10 months supply of inventory, absolutely, I would tell you, let's wait. But we don't have 10 months supply of inventory, so since there's light inventory, why don't we go after the buyers that are out there right now looking for homes like yours, instead of waiting for them? Why wait?
Plus, a lot of people see it as a lot of work.
Well, me too, ready.
That's true.
Are we good? Okay, sorry.
Thank
Okay,
you, that was great.
I remembered, thank you. Well, I had two of them, but I'm just gonna do this one. As far as like, you know, I really wanna list my home at this particular price. I know I've done a lot of research on Zillow, I've done a ton of research on realtor.com, and I think my house is valued at $320-ish, but I have a lot of work to do inside of it. But what if I brought my own buyer in? What, you know, I mean, cause then I wouldn't have to pay as much of a commission, right? Or I wouldn't have to, like, how do you work that?
There's a couple objections there, maybe three. So first and foremost, everybody here can just everybody should carry this. We have it in our office, but one of the co-founders of Zillow back 6-7 years ago, he listed his house in Seattle, Washington, and he listed it at started at 1.5, and the Zestimate actually ended up being at 1.1 or something like that, you know. So I mean, and I think I might have flip-flopped that. The Zestimate was at 1.5, it actually sold at 1.1, right? So we bring that document, and his name was Spencer Radkoff. I don't know how to spell that last name, I can't spell. Best day of my life was 7th grade when I realized they didn't have spelling tests. Besides, you know, June 30th, 2001. Today I got married.
So we don't get in trouble.
I remember that off the top of my head. So that's probably what I would say there as far as the Zillow thing. What's Monique, what's the other part of that?
Let's say I bring my own buyer.
Yeah, and you know what, Monique, if you bring your own buyer, again, I'd rather work with myself because I know what my strengths and weaknesses are. What we'll do is we'll do you a solid, and we'll go from, traditionally, including seller concessions and the commission that you're willing to pay me, traditionally, that's between, 6 and 7%, including your closing costs that you're going to have. So our solid we'll go down to 5% and save you a point, and if you bring in the buyer, and then we can help with the buyer and make sure we do all the title work and the financing and all that, and make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and you'll save 1% overall, so you'll probably be somewhere around that 6% total, including all your other fees, and I'll show you how that looks like on, the net sheet here, and so we'll do you a solid and save you 1%, is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds fair. Okay.
Sure. So Jason, we know you have a great team and everything, and you guys are the second of 4 agents that we're gonna have over today to look at our home, and we're gonna be making our decision tomorrow on the best one. What sets you guys above the rest of the agents in the market?
Brian, I guess my question to you is just so I'm aware, what are your criteria to figure out who the best one is?
Well, we want somebody that's gonna help us sell our home in a relatively short period of time, because we've got another house that we're building, and that's gonna be done relatively soon. And we'd like to net as much money as we can and have a nice, smooth process without any hassles or issues.
Let me ask you this, Brian, are you gonna work with the person that you like the best, or are you gonna work with the person that gets the job done, actually? and has a track record of getting the job done.
Yeah, I think, you know, we do have, one of the 4 agents is a family friend.
Sure.
They haven't been in the market as long as you guys. We're inclined to go with them. At the same time, my wife and I disagree a little bit, and she's leaning a little bit more toward the friend, and I'm leaning a little bit more toward the net, you know, the net income.
Yeah, you know, and the hardest thing with family friends, Brian, is Thanksgiving, Christmas, gatherings at the local watering hole get really odd if they can't sell your house. And I'm not trying to sway you away because I appreciate relationships, and quite frankly, I work with a lot of family and friends. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't when I do, but you gotta be really careful, especially when somebody's really new, on if that's the best financial decision. Because I guess what I would ask you is, will you work with a brand new heart surgeon, or would you rather work with a heart surgeon that actually has done 10 open heart, 20 open heart surgeries? Which one would you rather work with?
Well, for me, the more experienced one first.
Yeah, and most people choose the most experienced real estate agent. Some people don't, quite frankly. And if you decide to go that way, I wish you the best. It just, you know, those gatherings and Christmases and holidays get really weird when they couldn't sell your house, and then you call me 6 months later saying, hey, would you take on my house and get it sold? And then your house isn't, you know, overly fresh, and we have to figure out a totally different marketing campaign to get your house actually sold timely. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you all the reasons probably that you should work with me, but what I can show you is what other people have thought about why they should work with me. Here's all my Zillow reviews, here's all my Google reviews. You can clearly see that we've sold 2,700 homes here on Zillow. So we wanna be that heart surgeon that actually knows what we're doing, and the agents that know what we're doing, rather than someone that's just new, because you deserve better than someone that's new, quite frankly, and so does your bank account. And I can guarantee that we're gonna do the best job possible, and all these, you know, reviews that we have say that. That works for me, right? I've been on your side of things. That doesn't work for some people here, and I can totally appreciate that. Then what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna spend that and I'm a new agent, or newer agent, and that works for our team. So, because a lot of you are probably like, I can't say any of that, and I can appreciate that. So what I would do if I was a newer agent is I would say, you know, we have, you know, Brian, the reason why you should work with us is because we have an office that has 200 agents. You know, we sell in excess of 1,500 homes a year. I don't know the exact number, so don't you know, stone me in the public square. But get those numbers. I would base everything then off of what the numbers are. You know, we have a meeting every Wednesday. We're gonna talk about your house. We're going to send that house out to all the agents in my office. I'm gonna, you know, if you wanna do like a broker open or open houses, that's totally up to you. I would sell the team, if you will. We have, you know, the 5th largest, you know, real estate team in the state of Minnesota in our office. I'm gonna bring it to them, you know, I mean, I would, that's what I would do if I were newer. Does that answer, is that okay? Was that an okay response? Yep. Okay.
Before we go to the next question, real quick, how often does your team practice this dialogue?
We have a script practice 5 days a week at 9:17 every morning.
Okay, so this didn't just fall out of the sky.
Yeah, I'm not that good at anything, so.
Jolly. Jolly, you have it, right?
Melanie did.
Oh, okay.
Melanie.
Sorry, man. Worth it, guys.
Okay, my husband built this house. We have only been the people that have lived here. My husband has a health condition and wants to die in his home. We are on a list for assisted living, but may not get in for 2 years.
Okay.
Are you asking him to off the husband?
How do you decide that one?
I don't do that.
But they want you to come in and look,
I guess what I would say is ultimately we need to find where your next place is to go, and I can appreciate that your husband wants to die in the home. I think, you know, this is a really a conversation that you and your husband need to work out, and you know, I try to stay out of personal things. I'm willing to help you out as much as I can, but if you're telling me that your husband wants to die in the home, and I guess collectively you determine that that's what you want to have happen, well then that's what you need to do. I'm not going to try to, I don't want to sell your home if that's your husband's wishes. You know, and if you're waiting to get into an assisted living and you know it could take 2 years, well, I mean, there might be other assisted living that we can help you find that might be shorter term, but if you have your heart set on a place that you wanna go to and it could take you 2 years, well, I'm no magician by any means, and so I would really encourage you to take the time that you need to do whatever you need to do and make sure that you and your husband are on the same page would be the most important thing to me. Whatever I can help you with, I'm willing to, but you obviously have a complicated situation, and a lot of those things are frankly out of my control by far, and it sounds like some of them are out of your control too. So I think what you need to do is dive deeper with your husband and then look at this as a living place and see if there's maybe other options that you would want to go to, but if your husband's not willing to go at all, well then I guess, then there you sit.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much what I said, so that's.
There's no magic there. Some of these things, guys, if you truly, you have a servant leader's heart, I mean, I'm not here to sell people on stuff. People decide whether they want to buy or sell real estate. I'm here to make sure all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and that I treat everybody's asset as if it were my own. I am not here for a paycheck, and that's probably the biggest thing that's helped me is people realize that, and you know, people that have been doing this a long time, I'm here to help people. I'm here to earn the right to get referrals from my clients. And the only way that I earn the right to get referrals from my clients is to do an unselfish job for my clients. And the minute you can do that total unselfish job, and I understand, again, bankrupt 2007, I mean, you think it was, you know, I didn't have any money. So I understand that there's some people that are like, I need to sell this house to make my car payment or what have you, or house payment. However, you still need to be a fiduciary and earn the right to get that repeat and referral business. And if you come with that servant leader heart, your business will explode. And if you make sure that you hold yourself accountable, you make your bed in the morning, you do what you need to do as an agent, you can do great in this business with the average sales price. Most people just choose not to, right? Think about this. If your spouse was standing over your shoulder at work, or you said you were at work, as a real estate agent, what would they think of your activities that you were doing for 6 to 8 hours of the day? I would say that most people's significant others would not be happy with what they were doing. The vast majority. That's why 80% of agents will be, if there's a class of 100, 80% of them will be gone in 5 years. And that's because I'm a real estate agent, I'm an independent contractor, I do whatever I want. Okay, great. You know when I'm here in the morning? Every morning by 9 to 9:15. I leave pretty much 4:30 to 5. I work on the weekends. I look at it as a lifestyle. Maybe I have a sickness, but that's how I look at it. It's provided me, my family, and hopefully a bunch of people on my team a lot of security and help. But you have to really ask yourself, are you actually doing what you need to do in order to succeed? And if you can look in the mirror and honestly say that, fan-freaking-tastic. If you can't, you gotta decide whether shame on you to a certain degree, right? If you wanna set big goals, for those of you who have kids, why don't you all tell your kids that you're gonna take them on a super expensive trip to Disney World, and you're gonna do it next March, and mom or dad needs to sell 25 houses in order to do this $20,000 trip to Disney World. Do that. You want accountability partners? Those little wonderful things are gonna keep you accountable. If you tell them that kind of stuff, they'll keep you accountable whether you want it to be or not. So I would just encourage everybody, again, dyslexic, ADHD, I legitimately failed kindergarten. Wasn't held back, I failed it. So if I can do it, this is not really a really good recruiting talk for agents. If I can do it, there's no reason that any of you can't. There really isn't. There truthfully isn't from the bottom of my heart. I'm nobody any different than anybody that's in this room.
Hey Hey, real quick, one of the things we've talked about in here is having a championship culture, and this is a championship culture, so before coming here, it was important to me, I learned the championship culture from Kirby Puckett. You gotta have your leaders, your top players that are willing, if they hit a little ground ball to the pitcher, are they hustling it out? Jason's one of those leaders, he's a Kirby Puckett type of leader who, he hustles it out. Heck, you'll see him, fixing the drain in the kitchen and cleaning.
I've done it.
Yeah, he does it a lot, so, thank you so much. A couple ahas just to share, and then what we're gonna do is get some lunch. And then we have Gary's talk, and the mega agents will be meeting at 12:30. But if you wanna net the most money or pay less commission, I think that's very solid to remember. And we'll send this out to y'all. I like how you kept doing feel felt found,
Yep.
and you really did a great job. It's my fear for you, and another one is, you asked him what his criteria of a great agent was, the right agent was, and that was very important. That was wonderful. Cool. Jason, thank you so much for being that leader. Okay, so we have lunch over here, and if your initials are J.O., you're first in line. Oh, fine. No, thank you all for coming. Again, Value Squared will be started at noon, and we've got the food, then we have the mega agent mastermind.
Just to clarify, I think it's the Rainmaker.
Rainmaker
Oh, did I say-
Mastermind.
Oh,
That's fine.
Rainmaker is different, pardon me, Rainmaker Mastermind, and the people who, that's actually for invites. So, I invite you to eat, please.
When you said
Thank
J.O.,
you.
I was like, oh, Jason Oliver. That's why.
Oh,
That's a little funny.
Golly, let's go eat.
No,
Appreciate you all.